Hello? Hello? Oh, hi. Time for another Hip Chick Thrift With Me video. I'm in a bargain barn in Central Florida, and I am scouring some outbuildings. It's a lot of tapestry luggage, but it smells mildewy, I can tell from here. But I got a big kick out of this. Look at all the golf clubs. But check out these very useful Florida items. Some vintage heart skis. I used to ski on hearts back in the day, but not so much since I got to Florida. Here is a big barn full of goodies. Oh boy. Let's see what trouble we can get into in a barn. Wow. Sorts of goodies. Wow, this is gonna take me a while. Check out these vintage headboards. Oh my goodness. That white carved one is gorgeous, but the woven rattan one is also really nice. Not in the market, but those are nice. Apparently it's a day bed. There's the sides to it. And it can be had for $10 today. This is when I'm maybe glad I don't have a bigger storage unit, because it does have some brakes on it, I feel like, but that would be so sweet. And of course, I'm going to look at the artwork. Some giant pieces here that I can't deal with. Student piece. These are really large and nothing original. I see an O'Keefe poppy poking out here. A couple of O'Keefes. Let's hope they're originals, right? Well, wouldn't that be something? Look at this old guy. That's pretty cool. Looks like it might have been a calendar page. Here's my O'Keefe poppy. I always wanted to do a big stencil on a wall of this. That doesn't look like it's in great shape. And here's, I think this is a Gloria Erickson iris. Also too big for me, but they did pick up these Sperry duck boots. They were almost in like new condition. I spent $5.99. And then I found these really good shape. They're meant to look distressed, almost brand new as well. Sorel slip-on shoes. Those have already sold for $39. And this cool little, I don't know how old it was, but it's a napkin holder, and I thought it looked kind of vintage with the brass sides and the weighted ball center to hold the napkins down. And you know me and a good box. I love a good storage box. This one with the little cherubs was beautiful. It was like a burnished decoupage top that was kind of aged just perfectly well. And I have an affinity for these Mexican hand-blown glasses. I have a bunch of them. These were nice weighted wines, and they were in very good shape. I hate to ship them, but I have to pick them up when I get them for a good price. I didn't pick these up, but I just thought it was a really cool project, a DIY. They had taken oyster shells and then decoupage, probably napkins or tissue paper, and painted the back sides and made napkin rings from them. Really cool idea. Now that I think about it, they may be curtain tiebacks, but either way, great idea. Found all sorts of adult coloring books, and they're 50 cents a piece. Look at this one. It's a coloring your wiener. All wiener dogs. 50 cents a piece. I'll get them and put them in a lot. Somebody will be very happy. And here is a thing that angers me the most. These Capodimonte pieces are invariably chipped. Always somewhere on the flowers, they're chipped. But they price them as if they're so precious no matter what the condition is. I grabbed this little hold everything vanity box. It could be for men or women, and the top goes on either side. It was really kind of a nice wood tone. And check out this cool little doggy brooch. He had a little bit of plating loss, but I couldn't leave him behind. I think I can probably touch that up. And then I found this Native American copper etched bracelet. It was heavily antiqued. I just thought it was great. It was a larger size, probably men's originally. And talking about boxes, this was a cigar box, really old, that someone had probably etched with a wood burning tool. It was amazingly detailed and aged just perfectly. Then bread and butter things. These were brand new Clarks. I don't usually pick those up anymore, but it was a good price. And they were like new, as I said. And so someone will buy those for their job. They were half price. So they were $2. And I'll probably get at least $25 for those. I almost went for these trays. I was going to lot them up and sell them as a pair. Danish Modern Aesthetic, but they were scratched to hell, so I didn't get them. Can't walk by a good chair. I didn't pick this up, not my jam, and I don't want to ship it, but it was just gorgeous, and I usually don't see the New England style antiques down in here in Florida. Look at the caning, perfect shape. I didn't pick this beauty up. It was large. It was breakable. I don't want to ship it. But if you're doing your home over, don't spend money at Home Goods for lamps. Cruised the cookbook aisle and I picked up this. I already have one copy of it, but this was in great shape. And the Vintage Better Homes or Betty Crocker's or Julia Child's, I always grab. I may have shown this in another video, but just listed these for sale. It was a set of 3 Orfors crystal from Sweden candlesticks, and they're just gorgeous, heavyweight crystal. And check out this beautiful art piece. Super heavy hardwood frame. Beautiful sunset. I may think about taking it out of the frame and keeping it, but not sure. I always pick up burlap lampshades if I find those. These are a nice medium size and in very good shape. They always sell. I'll probably get about $45 for those. I picked up 4 of these chunky little cute heart candlesticks, probably for a votive size, $1 a piece. And then these great French crystal bowls. It has a hand-cut glass and a starburst pattern, and I think I found 6 of them. They were $1 a piece, and I'm going to lot those up. I hope to get about $35 for those. For $1.99, I got this great 70s hand-tooled unisex belt. Probably originally was a men's. You just need to add a buckle. That was really common in the 70s. We collected belt buckles. I'll just use some some leather conditioner on this beauty and it's ready to go. This was kind of a nondescript looking shirt, but I felt the quality of it when I was rummaging through the menswear. Beautiful condition, and I paid $1 for it maybe. It was very light. I think I'll get about 30 for that. I want to call this a Cubana style. Givenchy, can't beat it. Don't sleep on the hats. I always look. They're usually lightweight. Usually can be had for a small price. These were $1 a piece. And I could probably sell them for at least $20. Here's a Y2K LEI hat. I love the floppy beach hats. And then if I find a good team hat that's new with tags, like this Florida hat, I'll pick it up maybe $15, $20. If you can get it for a good buy-in price, it's just a bread and butter item. That's usually a good pickup. I found this great print. Well, it's a painted print, so painted on top of a print, I believe, by Amelia Noyes. It has illustrative qualities. It's probably about 2 feet by maybe 18 inches. A really nice piece. I paid $5.99 and I hope to get about 40 to 50. Next up, a blast from the past. I found 2 Marushka screen printed fabric art pieces by Richard Sweet. These were made in the early 70s through early 80s. And these had a little bit of discoloration, which is normal. That's like a linen-backed fabric that they're printed on, but the ink was really great. I found a smaller one and a larger one. They should go for $50 or more each. Back to hats. I found this great Greek fisherman's hat. Looked to be never worn, so vintage but dead stock. It was great because it had the brand, the size, and everything printed right in there. Perfect piece. And I'm still looking at clear glass because of the Bridgerton core aesthetic. I find these and I separate them sometimes for trinket dishes, but sometimes sell them in sets. This is a Natural Reflections romper. It's heavy fleece. I was going to keep it for myself. I just love the colors. It's so painterly, but it was just a bit too thick and a little bit too long. So I'm going to pass it on. This brand, if you see Natural Reflections in anything, pick it up. And then here in our park, I found this beauty in the garbage. I have no room and no time for a project, but I did make sure they pulled it out. It was too good to go in the trash. They're going to be having a park-wide yard sale here to raise money for the park, and that will be in the sale. Here's just another fun thing. This popped up in my Facebook memories. I found this piece signed Espada. It was a molded fiberglass piece. It was huge years ago, and I did sell it when I moved down here. It was featured in Mad Men in this waiting room scene, a similar piece. Lastly, I thought I'd show you some spring in Florida around my yard. I have my jasmine, some beautiful plants that Mom's been putting in, lots of geraniums. That one in the front is a little cocktail plant that'll get mini oranges, some annuals, and I just kind of spruced up with some other layers of striped leaf plants and little phlox, which I love. Roses are blooming. I have 5 or 6 on this climber. No scent to them really, but they're gorgeous. And then my Asian yard-long beans, also called asparagus beans, about the only food crop that I can seem to grow here. That was just a short little haul of what I got and what I looked at this week. Stop by again next Monday and see what's going on at Hip Chick Vintage. Like and subscribe.